Thank you for joining For Our Special Kids, where we openly and honestly discuss the magic and the mess of raising a child with special needs. We are thrilled to have you here and hope this time provides you with some wonder and wisdom. I'm your host, Jennifer Lansing. Let's get started. Today's interview is with Jody Goddard, a wonderful energy healer and a friend of mine. As we were recording this week, I realized that I needed what she was dishing out. So after we recorded this episode, I signed up for the 5-series healing plan that Jody provides. I had my first session with her on Wednesday, and it was incredible. At times, I felt like I was getting a massage. It was so relaxing. And then other times, I felt like I was being uplifted and then released. I received messages from my spirit team that provided me with all sorts of much needed clarity. And we even worked on some of my painful places. All in all, it was just a really gorgeous experience. And I have another session next week, which I'm really excited about. Perhaps you'll reach out to Jody and book a session yourself or for your beautiful child. You can find Jody at her website, balanceandbliss.ca. As always, I hope you enjoy and let me know what you think. Jody Goddard is an energy healing practitioner, intuitive, and mother of 3. She escaped the corporate world of marketing when her second child came into the world, opting for, I love this, maternity retirement to raise her children rather than climbing the corporate ladder. When her third child came, her journey of finally listening to that intuition started to unfold, leading her down a winding path towards energy healing. Jody has a deep appreciation for nature and wildlife, a passion for creativity, and her cats. Jody, I love you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this conversation. All right. Energy healing practitioner. What is that? Yes. What is that?
So an energy healing practitioner is someone who works with the body's energies to help harmonize or regulate emotions or even work on physical pain. Essentially, what I do is 2 types of energy healing. One is called bioenergy healing, and the other is called Eden energy medicine. The first one, bioenergy healing, is dealing with the chakras and removing blockages from the chakras, which your listeners may or may not know. I think you had an episode on chakras.
We did. We've had quite a few, but I think it's good to so there's 7 primary chakras that typically rotate, move, spin.
That's what chakra is, the Sanskrit word for vortex. And it just so typically means that they spin located in areas of the body where the energies kind of come together. So each one is associated with a color. Each one is associated with emotions or feelings or the way that you operate.
Yeah. So physically, it can also so your third chakra is your gut. So sensitivity, clairsentience, all of that. But it also is associated with the areas of your physical form in that location. So your stomach, your intestines, your kidneys, your livers, all livers. Mm-hmm. There's only one. But so that kind of, so what you're looking at is all of the energy systems. But then when you say it can be emotional or physical, you're working with both.
Right. And typically what we've learned in energy healing is that a lot of things start as emotions or things that you don't even realize that are starting, but they start in your energy and manifest over time into a physical ailment. Yeah. So if you've got the physical pain, you've been dealing with it for a long, long time, and it may take a while for it to clear up.
Yeah, you're screwed. No, I'm kidding. Everyone's like, I've got back pain. Well, all right. But it is really true. I know that I get low back pain when I'm having financial concerns and worries. I know that about my system. So when I start getting back pain, I'm always like, okie dokie, what are you worried about financially? And I mean, as soon as I start dealing with it or address it with my husband, hey, the bank account, then all of a sudden the back pain will go away. So I completely agree with you.
Right.
Okay. Bioenergy. So you are doing something to the chakras that helps them. You're doing something with the chakras that you've been taught to do that helps them spin better or clear? You said blockages, things like that. So tell me about that.
Yeah. So the main part of bioenergy healing is gathering up, drawing out, and releasing. So you are essentially going into someone's energy field
with permission. Mm-hmm.
With permission.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And as a practitioner, you may not even realize what the blockage is. Like you're just going in there knowing that they have lower back pain. So you're going in that area. You're gathering up the chakra in a circular motion, drawing out the energy and releasing it to the universe for love and light.
With good intention.
Transmuted.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's essentially removing blockages that you may not even know that are there.
Mm-hmm.
Back pain is probably the number one issue that people come to for bioenergy specifically, and such great results come from it.
I did not know that, by the way. That just came flying out of my mouth, but intuitively, I must have known. Okay.
You can actually physically see someone straighten up, and they tend to move back and forth when you're working with their energy, because it's a modality where you're standing most of the time.
The client is standing. The patient is standing. Okay. So it's not something where you're laying down and relaxing. You are up and active and participating, kind of.
Yes. So this one, it's really deep work because you have to be involved and deep into it. So you're standing there feeling everything that's going on. A lot of people report feeling like that they have to move backwards or forward. So some people feel everything, some people feel nothing. It's all dependent on the client. The changes happen over time, and most people don't even realize that changes are happening until you go back and ask them to compare to the first day, which I always do. And they see like remarkable differences between how their pain is now versus how it was when they started.
Okay. I cannot wait to book a session with you. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So then we've got Eden Energy healing.
Right.
What is that?
So Eden Energy medicine is based on a woman named Donna Eden. She says she's able to see energies that the rest of us can't see, or some of us can't see.
Okay.
So she can see how your energy flows, and it's based on like 9 different energy systems, very similar to traditional Chinese medicine, in that she works with acupressure points, meridians, radiant circuits, chakras.
And there's 4 more or 5 more. Yeah. Okay. So 9 systems.
So with that, it's far more relaxing kind of practice. What I do with the Eden Energy medicine is get people's energy back to like a balanced state. So because we know that life happens and you're going to run into stressors out in the world and things are going to make you upset, the Eden Energy medicine has a general energy balancer that brings you back to your general state.
Like optimal. So an optimal state of energy balance so that you're able to then handle things that are coming at you.
Yes.
Okay.
Now you can work on specific things that are bothering you, pain in certain areas, blockages removed from chakras. It's the same form of energy healing, but slightly different.
But you work both of them together, or do you do them separately?
Well, mostly I do them separate, but sometimes there's a little creep that comes in. Not that kind of creep. Sometimes I
just have this image of this little creep.
A little creep coming.
Fantastic. Okay.
Like, so you must keep them separate.
They blend together a little bit every now and then.
Thank you for the words.
No problem. So now let's look at why are we talking about all this for moms and caregivers. And really, I'm very curious about how you can work with children and how it seems like it's a very gentle modality, right? Because you're not pressing, you're not poking, you're not all that. And a therapy that could be really balancing for our children and our families in general. Talk with me a little bit about how a child might benefit from something like this.
In Eden Energy Medicine, we have something called the daily energy routine, which is really great to learn from someone else. Not the mom. But for my kids anyway.
So you taught your kids this and they're like, Mom, can someone else teach me this? Okay.
They always listen to someone else.
Yeah, of course they do.
More than they listen to their mother. But anyway, the daily energy routine for that you can do to balance your energies. It's really great because some people may not know that your energies are meant to be crossing over every day. And some people may have energies that go straight up and down. But how are
Okay,
you
so
supposed to know that?
when you say crossing over, what does that mean?
It means like in the field around you,
Mhm.
around your body, one of your energy systems
Okay.
is meant to be crossing over in front of you, kind of like an S.
Crossing over your body. So nobody can see what you're doing visually.
I
So
know.
you're taking your
So
hand and going from your left shoulder over to your right
yeah,
shoulder and crossing your body. So crossing kind of like
that main
that main center
central line.
line of your body. Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
our energy systems are supposed to be intertwining with one another and working together.
yes,
Okay.
yes. They're all intertwined and
Mm-hmm.
different geometric patterns all throughout our energy system.
Okay.
It's not just straight up and down. And in fact, if you're finding your energy is straight up and down, you may be feeling weird and wonky in the world, and you may
Interesting.
benefit from just doing some crossover pattern.
How would you know that your energy was straight up and down? I mean, if one, you're feeling a little off or wonky in the world, but what else might manifest?
You may stumble over words, you may have brain fog, you may have headaches. The way that we do it as practitioners is we energy test you, which is simply we hold your arm out
Mm-hmm.
and ask you questions and then see how you respond to the question.
So it's a little bit like muscle testing where you're
Exactly like muscle
asking, oh,
testing.
it is muscle
Yeah.
testing. Okay. So you're asking yes, no questions. And if the arm goes down, it shows weakness in a certain area
Yes.
or to that question. Okay.
Correct. Good job.
Okay. Every now and then. Every now and then I pull one out. Okay. So you're asking those questions and then you'll find out, okay, this is the pattern that I need to work on, or this is the one of the 9 systems that I need to work on. Okay. So if a child is deregulated, they are throwing tantrums, they are having trouble expressing themselves, they are crying maybe when they wouldn't normally cry, or fussing, or just off. And we all know that when our kids are just off. What do you, I mean, what would you do then? And what could you see? I mean, could you balance something like that?
Yeah. So in that case, for kids, there's this fun thing called poi balls that you could get, which is essentially just a ball on the end of a rope. It lets you do the crossover pattern, which is essentially like figure eights over your body that could get your energies crossing over.
Oh, so you're literally saying moving your hands in a figure
Moving.
8 infinity pattern
Yes.
around and outside of your body and crossing over and up around and crossing can regulate your system?
Yes.
Holy geez. Okay, everyone, stop driving. Don't do this while you're driving. But like, so if I were to, like, how long do you do it? How long does it take?
So you can do it until you feel good. You can do it a couple minutes a day, twice a day. Like, it's good to do it every day.
Just taking a breath was easier by just doing those random little arm movements.
Yeah. And you're making space in your energy, right? To get the energy flowing. Figure eights. And you look like a luau dancer.
Thank you. I know I was doing it for you. I do look like a really bad luau dancer. Thank you. Okay. So that would be something very simple. Can you like Google this and find out more information?
Oh, yeah. You can Google. Eden Energy Medicine has tons of YouTube videos on how to do these things. So you could Google that.
That's fantastic. Love it. All right. You were talking about the daily. Is that the daily energy balancing? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Say that again. What is it called?
The daily energy routine.
Daily energy routine. Okay. And it takes 5 minutes?
It takes like 5 minutes.
Okay.
And really, it's tapping points to get you grounded, tapping end of meridian points just to get the energy flowing there, opening space in your aura.
Okay. Well, speaking of aura, we haven't really ever talked about auras on the program. Would you give me just a quick definition of what is an aura? I mean, I don't know if we can also Google it, but let's just do it right now. And then why is, like, for a child specifically, why is keeping the aura strong really important? Is that the right word? Strong, like a strong aura? Okay.
Yeah. So everybody has essentially an energy system around their body, kind of like a bubble that keeps them safe from the world, from, if someone's too close to you, you can kind of feel it and they're not touching you, but you're still like, you're in my space. That's them pushing on your aura. So some shy kids and some insecure kids may have an aura that's really close to them, trying to keep them protected. And so they may not want people near them very much. The best space for an aura to be is kind of arm's length away so that you have space for yourself, but others also have space to be themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's so interesting because even I can even watch two people talking, and if they're too close, I feel it. I'm like, back it up, back it up. Like, and they're not even near me, and I'm watching two people talk, and I'm like, that's uncomfortable for both of them, or one of them is. It's so interesting. I can totally feel it. So, an arm's length away, which that's good to know. I mean, I could really see these children that have special needs. You know, Teal's not your typical energy person. I mean, she has a lot of it. She gives it freely. She's okay with all of that. We do regulate every now and then. I tell her, you know, you don't have to make everyone's day. You know, you can focus on you right now.
So, and that would be the opposite. Maybe her aura's out way too far and she's giving it away to too many people and you need to kind of pull it back in. So there's both, like you can have both extremes. Mm-hmm. Definitely mine's close to me a lot.
Yes, it is. I do know you, Jody. And mine, what would mine be? Mine is typically out there. Yeah, this is very simple. Mm-hmm. I like how we scientifically just determined that.
Yeah.
So how would we make an aura stronger for a child?
Yeah. So sometimes our auras can get holes in them or tears in them where energy can flow through. That can happen for any way. Like something happens, somebody says the wrong thing to you and it just kind of like opens up like a tiny little hole. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It's just, it happens. So one of the ways that you can do that is by doing something called a Celtic weave, which again goes back to the figure eights in front of you. And essentially, if you teach a kid to do the Celtic weave or use the poi balls that go in front of you in a figure eight form, you are building their aura to be stronger with that figure eight pattern.
I'm thinking about Teal, and I'm thinking about a number of the children that I know wouldn't physically be able to do that for themselves. I mean, you put a ball on an end of this rope and I'm like, good luck with that for my child. Mm-hmm. So for that, can I do it for her? Can I do the figure eights in front of her and help her? I don't need to take her arms because I mean, some kids can't even like bend their arms. So,
no.
Okay.
And so one of the things I used to do with my oldest at night is he'd always want to back scratch. And even just doing the crossover pattern on his back, down his spine, all the way off his feet. Half the time he wouldn't even know I was doing it, but it's just like a gentle way of getting the energies flowing back and forth as you're going to bed. So you can do it for them. You could even, this is kind of out there, but
I love it. Go woo woo on us. Go. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if I'm really feeling it, you can make like an energy ball in front of your heart. And you can put all the intentions in for your child for that day. And one of them is just to see them as a perfectly beautiful, energetic being and see all their energies running perfectly. And then put it in your heart and send it out to the world.
I love that. These are all things I just need to do on just a regular day. I need to have a checklist on my office wall. It's like, okay. These are the 3 things that you need to do for your child, for your family, for yourself. And probably start with yourself. Then go to the child, then go to the family. Let's reverse that. Self, child, family.
Sometimes it's easier to do it for your child because, like I said, just that simple crossing over at nighttime. It's just simple to do. And for me, it's like a natural thing to do.
Well, yeah, in your hand, you're doing it. Yeah, you're doing it just really beautifully with your hands. No one can see this, but you're just taking your hand and making an 8. I mean, that's all you're doing, just back or infinity symbol, or just back and forth and back and forth. And that, I mean, every time we put Teal down to bed, you can just do that on her.
Yeah,
and see how. And heck, I'm thinking I need to do this to my husband. Like, hello, let's sleep. Like, could people contact you and have you do this? Is that the bioenergy or is that the Eden?
Right now, the Eden is the figure eight thing.
Okay.
But I do work it into the bio sometimes.
Okay.
That's where I'm talking about where they blend sometimes. But the bioenergy is the one that I do distance.
Oh, you do that all distance.
Yeah.
So I could be standing in my office or in my house. And would you need to be talking to me or my child?
So for bioenergy, it's really fascinating because you can do it a couple different ways. The ones that I've had real success with, the client has just been sitting in a relaxed state, just receiving, just with the intention to receive. And we've had remarkable conversations about what's happened afterwards. Like really cool things have happened. For a child, what you could do is, and this is how we used to do it before Zoom, which is weird to think of a time.
Yeah.
But you could, when the child goes to sleep, then the bioenergy practitioner can start working on them while they're sleeping. So they can just have the intention to receive, or the parent has the intention to receive.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say if you put a glass of water beside the bed, it helps clear the energy. I don't know the science or the woo-woo-ness behind that.
But some people do it. Mm-hmm.
But some people do it. Even as an adult, if you're not comfortable sitting in front of me on the screen, we could wait till you're relaxed and in bed.
Okay.
I kind of like feeling the difference though. Like I kind of want to know if someone's working on me and that I can feel it.
Yeah.
But
so, and also, again, I'm thinking we have children that are in wheelchairs that can't even stand up or can't, and they're not going to be able to talk with you about it. It sounds like it's very gentle. How would I know? What can you give me some examples? Maybe kids that you've worked on that have given you some validation of, yeah, okay, this is what's going on. Because when you have a nonverbal or verbal-ish, as we say, child, it can be really tricky. So I have to look for outside manifestation somehow. So what would I be looking for? What would show? That was a very roundabout question, but here we go.
I haven't worked with anyone that's nonverbal, so I can't really give you that information, but I can think of a time one of my clients, her ankle hurt, and that's all she was coming to get because that's all I need. And she was a teenager. I'm very like into school and things have to be a certain way.
Sure.
And she didn't even realize what she was going to feel. Like she kind of just came for her mom and said, yeah, I'll try this. Because why? I don't know. My ankle hurts and I've been...
And anyway. My mom told me to. Yeah, my mom told me to. Mm-hmm.
So she came to me and immediately when we started in, it wasn't even 3 minutes and she started feeling woozy and she could feel the energies flowing. Like things were really stagnant in there and she could really feel that things were moving and moving so much that she might even feel like she had to sit down for most of the sessions. And at one point she thought she was going to throw up.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. She got that nauseous. So you were just releasing so many bound up tight things.
Yeah. So because she was so worked up and so stressed out, nobody could really see that it had gotten so bad that it manifested into a physical, small physical thing. But yeah, she could feel it and she could tell me. Now, that's an extreme case. And I did learn from that. Maybe I was going too fast and maybe I needed to slow things down and not do so much.
Well, especially children are more physically sensitive, but emotionally, energetically sensitive. I mean, all of it, not just one. I mean, teal is more open than most adults. So she's probably going to need a minimal dose of what you're doing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Did she see a change? Did she, like afterwards, did your client say, whoa, okay, I'm feeling
She did. And the whole time throughout, because she kept coming back and I kept thinking it was her mom, because with bioenergy, you do 4 sessions once a week for 4 weeks. And then you take a break and you do a 5th session after 3 weeks because the blockages are still coming out. And then you kind of clear them off. Anyway, after the first session, I thought she was going to say, no way, not coming back. She kept coming back and made it to the 5th session and even told me that, yeah, I think I'd like to come back in like a year.
Great.
So she was feeling better. And I also feel like I gave her a space to feel validated, that her feelings were like she was stressed out and she needed someone other than her parents to talk to, kind of thing. But meanwhile, her mom was there the whole time. So she was
just had someone to listen.
Yeah.
And her pain in her ankle?
Yeah, it was gone.
Good on you, Jody. So that's really good to know. So it's 4 sessions, you wait 3 weeks, and then you have a 5th session. I could see this being, I'm just wondering, I just want to do it. I'm like, okay, I need to do it because we need to experience it. It's hard to talk about energy work without feeling it. So if I were a stressed out mom, if I were, let's say, going into the school year and happening to be getting stressed about all the schedules and everything that has to be going on and Is this something where I just need an hour once a week to connect with you, or is it longer?
So the sessions are 45 minutes once a week.
Okay, so that
And
would be easy. I want to do a follow-up with you because I'm going to do it. I'm signing myself up right now. I think we should. And because I think then I'd be able to talk articulately about it. And we could do we could even record the fifth session or something like afterwards and just say, okay, this is what I saw. Because I think having someone else, like for that teenager, having someone else listen, I don't think most of us know how stressed out we are. And so you're able to, because you're not in my shoes, you're able to say, okay, I can see this. I got you. I'm creating a safe space for you to release, to let go, to heal. And that's really what you're providing is healing.
Even as a practitioner, I don't always follow my own advice, and there's times when you're too close to the situation, you're too in it, you're too deep, just angry or whatever, to realize there's a different way and somebody could help.
Yeah. Well, and
I could help myself.
Right. But I mean, that's also why we need to ask for help more. And I'm not very good at that. I think this has just been a really lovely therapy session for me, Jody. I'm like, okay, do more figure eights and ask for help. Those are my two main takeaways. Very cool. So would you work with children with special needs? I mean, obviously, I don't think there's a reason why you wouldn't, but what would be like an ideal client for a child? Like, so I'm just kind of thinking of parents that are listening and they're like, yeah, but I couldn't have my child couldn't talk to you, or my child couldn't stand for that whole time, but it's still okay. You're able to work with people and they don't even have to travel, which is one of the hugest things for all of us, because we are always on the road to therapies with our child. I mean, all of us are. And if someone were to say to me, hey, I can work on your child while they're asleep, they don't even need to know that they are getting a therapy session. I mean, hello.
However, I would mention it to them.
Yes. Oh, yes. Sorry. Thank you. Full disclosure. Thank you. Permission. It's okay. That came out really wrong. But yeah, being able to say, Jody's going to meet you in your dreams tonight. You might see her and she's going to work with your energy centers and help you have more balance in your world.
Which sounds really far out there, but
oh, that sounded pretty good to me.
I'm a very grounded person, so I get that this is like really weird, but I also don't understand how Wi-Fi works, but I know that it works. So I have faith that it works. I've seen it work and I know it works.
Those are all really tangible options. I know there's something that you mentioned to me previously, that when your child is melting down, and we definitely all have children that are melting down, especially when they come home from school right now. I think kids are just like, I am taxed out. Like my brain is done. I'm in a meltdown. What is something that you do for children in that case?
So one of the things I use quite often, because I have a 7-year-old who's very sensitive in a good way. So one of the things I do when he is like mid freak out crying is just to hold him, but hold him in a way that you're holding the end point of the spleen meridian, which is right on the side of your body under your armpit.
Okay. So your spleen meridian is the side of your body under your armpit, right side.
Hold that with one hand. Doesn't matter what side.
Okay.
And then the other hand goes across the body. It's like a hug where you're just holding the outside of their arm. So this is called the triple warmer spleen hug. And you can Google it.
The triple warmer spleen hug. What you're doing to yourself. So you make his arms do that. Oh, okay. So
no, I just hold him like
you're holding the right side under his armpit. And then you're tucking your other arm around him. So it's just a very structured hug, basically. Yeah. It's not just
like kind of from behind.
From behind.
Yeah. I kind of have him here holding him from behind.
So he's looking out. Interesting. Could you do it the other way?
You could probably do it the other way. I just always find it easier, probably because he's flailing.
Okay. Right. And how long would you hold something like that? I mean, obviously, you're not going to force your child. So if he isn't finding comfort in this or isn't calming down through it, you're not going to hold your child. We all believe in free will and self-choice. So would it be just until you feel a reset, like a deep breath, or it stops?
Yes. If he'll let you hold it, or if they'll let you hold it that long, do it till they stop. Sometimes they won't let you do that. and another, sorry, I had to sneak this one in.
Yeah.
And because
Another
I go between the two. Another one is just to hold their forehead and the back of their head. These are main neurovasculars that calm people. Like, when you've had like a major stressor and you're like, oh my God, and put your hand on your
Put your
forehead.
hand on your head. Yeah.
That's because their main stressor neurovasculars are there. And it just helps the blood flow to the forebrain kind of calm down.
To the frontal lobe.
Yes.
Yeah.
If one of those holds isn't working, I go between the two. Sometimes they're like, get off me. I want nothing to do with you. And that's fine too.
Right.
These are just options to try.
I'm holding my head right now. So my left hand is on my forehead and my right hand is kind of right behind it, just on the back of my head. And they are so hot. My head is like releasing so much energy right now.
Mine too.
Holy whoa. I mean, they're getting hotter. Oh, this is so fun.
Yeah. And you could do that to yourself too, obviously.
I'm doing it. Yes. Interesting. I don't want to take my hands away. It feels lovely.
There you go.
All right. I like it. Well, I'm excited. So how can people find you?
They can go to my website, which is balanceandbliss.ca. I'm in Canada.
Balanceandbliss.ca.
Yes.
Jody, I love this conversation. I think it's going to really get people thinking about different ways of providing healing energy to their children. And don't forget the figure 8. That's my another takeaway. Figure eights, figure eights, figure eights.
Another thing you could do, just to throw this out there, is spoon your feet.
Hold on. What is spooning your feet? You just throw this at the last minute. You're like, and here's a bomb. Let me just drop this. What the heck is spooning your feet?
So you just take a stainless steel spoon and rub it all along the bottom of your foot. And it helps get your polarities open to the polarities of the earth. So it's really great for grounding if you need to.
I need to. You just tell me. You're like, you need to, Jen. You're still floating in your office. You're not even on your seat. Okay. So you take a spoon and just rub it up and down the foot. How long? Till
you feel like it's enough.
Okay.
It's totally up to you.
Until you just say like, okay, that feels like maybe 5 sweeps or I'm good. 10, whatever.
Maybe like 30 seconds total.
On each foot. And that just opens up the polarity and then you're more able to be more grounded. Hello. Incredible. And that doesn't matter if you're wearing shoes or not. I mean, obviously when you spoon your foot, you don't want to be wearing shoes, but then it keeps that opening even when you have shoes on. Let's go spoon our feet, people. Thank you so much, Jody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you found 1 or 2 meaningful nuggets of information to make your day better. If you think there's value in what we do, please take a moment to tell another friend, family member, or a caregiver. We'd love to hear from you at forourspecialkids@gmail.com. You can send in a question, a comment, a topic that you'd like to learn more about, or if you'd like us to highlight a certain person, please send that information to us. It makes our show so much better and so much more valuable for you. Our Facebook and Instagram handle is For Our Special Kids. And finally, remember to witness the wonder and the wisdom within yourself and others. Until next time.